Hello and welcome to another fascinating Instagram live session today. Today we are marking a very important occasion, Cancer Prevention Month. Before we begin, I would like to share a little disclaimer. The purpose of these Instagram live sessions are to create awareness and foster understanding about our health and wellness. While we share general information, we do not provide any medical advice. So, for any specific medical concerns, diagnosis, or treatment plans, please consult your physician or your medical doctor. I am so excited to have you all join us today for this crucial conversation about understanding and prevention of cancer. With us today is the brilliant Dr. Nada Al-Hasawi. Dr. Nada holds a PhD in body healing and has established herself as a pioneering scientist in the field of holistic health. As a respected professor, accomplished author, and an influential global speaker, she has revolutionized our understanding on the body's natural healing processes. Her groundbreaking research and teachings have helped countless individuals understand the profound connection between our physical health, emotional well being, and disease prevention. Hello, Dr. Nada.
Hello, Mrs. Tenvi.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for the amazing introduction and for having me in the amazing holistic health IG life. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you for taking time to share your expertise with us today. It's such an important conversation that we are going to have today, as I mentioned in my introduction, that it marks the Cancer Prevention Month. So I want to get into the fundamental question, which is what is Cancer Prevention Month all about, and what are we trying to achieve with this awareness campaign?
Yeah, thank you, Mrs. Tenvi. Actually, you already explained the aim of these lives perfectly. The aim in general of the cancer prevention awareness, or even any awareness, is just to educate people about the risk factors of cancer and actually to raise the consciousness, mainly in our what we are delivering during these sessions or during these lives, actually to increase the consciousness of many diseases that people they are aware of. Also, of course, the aim in order to reduce the exposure to cancer and the incidence of the cancer worldwide.
Correct. I mean, the aim is, as you said, for this awareness month is multifaceted. I feel that, we want to help people understand the risk factors that are within our control. As we will get
Yes,
into this conversation a little bit more about it, we want to encourage open conversations about cancer prevention. We want to highlight regular medical checkups or screenings if it required, to share knowledge about lifestyle factors and support overall health. And we want to reduce stigma around the word cancer.
yes, of course, yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I want maybe my thinking is that to talk more about the reality of general diseases and the real risk factor of the cancer, rather than maybe treatments and how the symptoms in general that just it's like it's programmed, it's everywhere.
Correct.
What we are delivering is unique and it's
Mm.
different, and I can
Mm.
deeply understand it,
Hmm.
and we cooperate in this as well.
Yes, correct. It's we want to create a bridge between general wellness knowledge and professional medical care, which is available everywhere, as you said, on the internet. So, or if you can want to go and meet your medical specialist, you can get the information as well directly from them. I never say that please go to WebMD and get your things checked out. Please don't go to Google and get your symptoms checked out, but please
Of
go to the right phase. And here we are trying to create this bridge, as I said, between the general wellness knowledge
yes,
and
yeah,
the medical care.
and also
Yeah,
how to apply the wellness as well, because
correct.
there is, maybe we'll talk about this later on,
Correct.
the application itself. Yes.
Correct.
Mm.
So now let's get a little bit deeper into our conversations. Could you help our viewers understand exactly what cancer is? And many people hear this term and might not fully grasp what is happening in their body. So if you can take it from there.
Yeah, actually, many people think that cancer is just one disease, it's group of diseases,
Mhm.
actually a larger group of diseases. That's why physicians are specialized in specific type of cancer, like prostate cancer or breast cancer. You never see doctor that can deal with all types of cancer. However, surgery can deal with them because like surgery is completely different than treatment. Surgery is at removing the cancer, and maybe the doctor can then, it's like cooperation, collaboration between number of physicians, surgeon and physician can deal with a specific type of cancer. Now, a general characteristic of this large group of diseases, which cancers, I would say, is the abnormal growth of cells, multiplication of cells in uncontrolled fashion. That's why it will create an uncontrolled manner where it will form tumor. It starts a specific organ or tissue, then actually because it's cancer, there's not benign tumor, it will spread throughout the body to other areas, and we call this metastasis. This is the danger here. This is the carcinogenesis process which we would worry about. That's why when actually physician check the sample, either it could be benign, which can be still in the same area and can be easily removed, or it could be he would know that it will be spread to other parts of the body. So that's basically the whole idea about cancer
Okay.
as the definition. Yeah.
Yes. So as you mentioned, it is a group of diseases. It's not only one thing. It is a
Yeah.
group. And I want to understand. I was reading about it a little bit more on my research of this Instagram live, and I came across the World Health Organization's article, which reported that cancer is the second leading cause of death and
Yes.
has responsible for nearly 10 million deaths in 2020. So, in fact, cancer cases and it's also said that it is expected to rise 60% for the next 2 years or decades. So,
Yeah.
I mean, these global statistics show a concerning trends in cancer traits. Could you please tell us the most common type of cancers worldwide and their prevalence,
Yeah.
please?
Yeah, thank you very much. You raised also very important point that although there is awareness and there is many medication and many, people talking about the healthy lifestyle, but still we are having increasing, there is increase in the incidence of cancer. So maybe this is important. One of the uniqueness of what we really need to discuss in this IG live. And I would say that number one in the worldwide, of course, the first cause of death worldwide is heart diseases, then
Okay.
cancer. Okay,
Hmm.
so I would rank the cancer, the cases, or sorry, based on the case numbers, starting
Hmm.
from the highest, which is the breast cancer.
Okay.
Breast cancer, which in 2020, and you are right, because now what we find online is all the these numbers are related to 2020, 2020.
Yes.
So for breast cancer, it's about 2.26 million cases in 2000 and 202,
Mhm.
okay, or
Mhm.
2020. And
Mhm.
then the lowest is stomach cancer,
Mhm.
stomach, and that is 1.09 million cases. So in between, other cancers from highest to lowest are lung cancer. That's why many, like, awareness very important. They mentioned smoking tobacco, lung
Yes.
cancer,
Mm.
colon and rectum cancer, and then we have prostate cancer, and then skin cancer.
Mhm.
Okay, so in the
Mhm.
middle.
Mhm.
Also, I would also rank, which is also important, deaths. Ranking cancer based on the death numbers.
Okay.
Number one is lung cancer. It caused in 2020 1.8 million deaths, and the lowest is the breast cancer. The
Oh,
death, yeah,
okay.
breast cancer.
Mm.
Yani breast cancer is the highest incidence. However, it caused lower death compared
Mortality.
to lung,
Yeah.
and even compared to stomach cancer. Okay,
Very
so breast
interesting.
cancer, yeah, interesting, because
Very interesting.
it's only there is one type of breast cancer, because also breast cancer have different types, by the way, and maybe we
Okay.
can talk about this in separate
Please. Yeah.
session,
Yes,
because
we will do.
breast cancer has a negative receptors. That's the what is uncurable. It's not easy to be cured,
Okay.
but other types can be cured.
Okay.
Now, the number of deaths was 685,000 deaths. In the middle, yani follow after the lung cancer, colon and rectal cancer, liver cancer, and stomach. And the lowest is the breast cancer.
Breast
Yeah.
cancer. Very interesting. Very interesting. You know what? I also another thing I want to highlight that's particularly noteworthy, that in between 30 to 50% of these cases are preventable. And
Yeah.
I will discuss this through modification and lifestyle modifications, and addressing those environmental risk factors, which we will discuss this. And this is where our conversation becomes extremely crucial, because this is the primarily what we want to achieve from this Instagram live,
Yeah.
is awareness about this. So let's talk a little bit about the causes and the risk factors. What are the main factors that can increase someone's likelihood of developing cancer?
Of course, these risk factors, always they are related to the unhealthy lifestyle. Starting from smoking, tobacco, always there is awareness. When they mention cancer prevention, they would mention stop smoking. That's what they would say. Actually, why is that? Because the smoke or tobacco has about 250 substance or chemical that considered to be harmful. However, out of these, 69 are carcinogenic. And we're talking about chemicals here. Okay? This is the first risk factor, which is most important when they talk about cancer. Number two, we have alcohol consuming, but I mean in the alcohol mainly, it's addiction, like addiction.
Yeah,
So it is
extreme
related,
uses of
extreme.
yeah,
Yeah,
extreme,
and
yeah.
also we can mention this related, how it's actually related to cancer when we talk about addiction, which actually causing addiction here. Okay,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
here carcinogenic, alcohol is a carcinogenic, and related to the incidence of 7 types of cancer, affecting esophagus, breast, liver, or even the colon as well. Also, very important factor is the physical inactivity, obesity,
Okay.
and unhealthy diet, of course. Now,
Okay.
when we talk about obesity now, mainly it is affecting certain or cause the exposure to certain types of cancers, mainly esophagus and colon, and also breast. Breast here because hormonal. We know that obesity can cause some hormonal disturbances. One of them, and this is related to women, is the breast cancer. Now, when we talk about also the colorectal or esophageal cancer, or even the kidney, mainly here we talk about the unhealthy food, because mainly they say we need to eat more vegetables, eating more fruits that will prevent from having cancer. Maintaining the healthy body, I mean body weight, is very important, but it's actually based on the IBM, because many people will say, what is the ideal? For people who are not aware of the body, what is the ideal body mass or body weight? It should be related to the IBM. And IBM, when we divide the mass of the body or the weight of the body, the height, and that is in meters square. And it should be in the range from 18.5 to 24.9, not higher.
Okay.
If it's higher, okay, lower also, this is abnormal. But also higher, it is commonly here, the common case is higher when we have the overweight stage 1, overweight stage 2, and overweight stage 3, and that is related to obesity. However, the interesting fact, although obesity is related to the incidence of cancer, still it affected 2012, that's what I found, caused about 3.4, the excess fat caused responsible for about 3.4 cancer types, cancer cases. So this is also interesting, which we can also highlight it later on.
Sure.
I would also, yeah, mention also very important factor, infection, but that is viral infection. Infection
Okay.
related, those viruses that can cause cancer later on. And those are hepatitis, hepatitis, and here infection by hepatitis, which can cause liver cancer, and it's also human papilloma virus, which would cause the cervical cancer. Okay,
Okay.
so infection. So here comes the role of the immunity. Other factors, which also people they would know about when they search, and very important facts should be highlighted in this interview, is the environmental factor, and that is the outdoor air pollution. Pollution can cause cancer, like the carbon monoxide, and we know about it, cancer monoxide from the cars. Also, we have some of the other gases, such as nitrous oxide and sulfur dioxide, and also there is what is called volatile organic compounds. And I think most of these are coming from the industry.
Yes.
And also, yeah, we have particulate substances. So all these are, we smoke, we inhale them, but we don't know about them.
Yeah.
So here, this is an important factor. Also, there is certain jobs like occupational environmental or occupational carcinogens for people who are exposed to asbestos, for example.
Yes.
They would be affected by, they would have the lung cancer. And it's a specific cancer known as a mesothelioma cancer that is affecting the lining of the lung or the cavity itself, the chest cavity. Also, the last one, and it's very important, the radiation, and mainly we talk here about the solar radiation that can cause all types, different types of the skin cancer, including melanoma. So these are generally the risk factors that could lead to cancer. Yeah.
That's so interesting. There's so many risk factors that you just mentioned, and there are many related to our lifestyle and environmental choices that that affect us. And we do it. We know that they are unhealthy, but we still do it. Okay. So, in your experience, why do people often struggle to make those unhealthier or healthier choices, even that they know better?
Yeah. This is very deep question. We always say, why we know about this is harmful, this is not good, and this is unhealthy, we keep doing it. I think because we don't know how to change it. We don't understand the real reason behind all this, all these risk factors. Recently, actually, which when actually now we are working together 7 years, I just got a deep thinker. I thought deeper in these risk factors, and my conclusion is that all these unhealthy lifestyle and these risk factors are actually results of the unhealthy behaviors, are just results of the emotional stress. These are like they are behaviors which actually result, not the cause. The main cause is not these risk factors. These are the service, but we have deeper understanding. Deeper understanding saying that these are results out of main causes.
Correct.
And if we take each one of these, we would think, yeah, now we understand why people even they don't know, and or some in other word, maybe they're not allowing the understanding, because it means that they need to change their behavior, as you already mentioned, the behavior itself, understanding the cause, and then changing, how they think about it, how they see it, and then they can make the change. And then the behavior will change, will be from unhealthy to healthy. Actually, I would also, to be fair, put this, the main cause, which is the emotional stress, and another cause, which is the programmed mind. To be fair, because it's not only the emotional stress. Maybe we can set ourselves free from stress, but still we have programmed behaviors like smoking. Maybe people, they would set themselves, they are okay, but still it's like behavior. Even if they enjoy work, enjoy their values or highest value, they would have this kind of behavior that they are enjoying this. Like that, it's like, because to me, Now, if we take each one of these, now starting from, as I already mentioned, the tobacco or smoking tobacco, it's not a matter of tobacco itself. It's not the smoke or nicotine. It's more. It's like the behavior itself, like a classy or, it's different. So even so if you take each of our behaviors, we see they are behavior, program behavior, even we are setting ourselves free from emotional stress. So it's very
Correct.
deep. Now, if I talk about the unhealthy food or unhealthy nutrition, or maybe later on take lack of exercise, I would say, what is it actually? Is it reducing the quantity? Is it less fat? Is it less protein? No, I would say less carb. I will put it just generally, less carb will be much better. Now, why people they eat carb? We can't stop people telling them not to eat sugar like this. Not easy, because this will create more stress, and maybe they will insist on eating.
Yes.
It's like they need to understand it, because eating more sugar means that you are under stress, and this
Yes.
is actually this is scientifically true,
Yes.
because it's like alleviating the stress through a particular system. If there is a stress, emotional stress, it means that what is actually engaged, and this is known as HPA axis, if you heard about it. It's where the hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal glands are all engaged in the emotional stress. So this system or this axis, when we eat sugar, we alleviate the stress through the system. So this is scientific fact. Okay, so here the sugar is mainly, I would say, this is number one, carb in general. So eating less carb, I want to just a summary. Now, if you talk about the lack of activity or lack of exercise, how to achieve wheel of elixir of life. So starting from the point which we will discuss later on, which is the integral or the core of our balance. And after that, I would think about having a regular exercise, like weekly basis. So being depressed, people who are depressed in general, they don't have a goal. Okay, how they going to exercise? Either they can just be very lazy and not, there will be lack of activity, or they would be addicted to exercise, so they think they are releasing their stress. And there is a big difference between if they are practicing, or exercising regularly because it is a value, or they just addicted to it. And there is a huge difference between these two. I would say now maybe somebody will say what we can do about pollution, okay? What we can do about the sun, the radiation. Are we going to stop from going to the sea or the swimming pool? Or even if we think about the other occupation, we need to be conscious. If we are conscious, how to deal, for example, how to be stick to the safety instructions in different occupation, enjoy what we do, because many people, some workers, they are enjoying working, they have this value to work with asbestos. Everything has a value. People have different values. When they do these values, for example, even if there is a high toxic level of certain metal like magnesium or even asbestos, they still can do it. But what is the safety instructions here, how to deal with it? So being conscious, number one. And once they understand that this is their highest value, it will be okay. Radiation is okay, the solar radiation, being conscious when to go and when to enjoy the sun, and not to stay, putting the lotions and all these,
Sunscreens
inclusions.
and all.
Very important. So they would be conscious even when they do it. Some people, they just, it's like a suicide. They go to this. They don't take all the,
Yes.
this is very deep. And also for the pollution, I think it's time now for people who have this value to start their work in order to decrease the pollution, and we can deal with everything that's what I think, deal with different gases, deal with the what is available in a wise manner. So we don't have a wisdom worldwide That's why we can't deal with all this, all these important sources of the, what we need to create on Earth. The other thing, infection. Now, I want to raise this, and this is very important. Infection means decrease in the immunity. Okay, maybe people will think about vaccination. I'm not against vaccination, but when we talk about vaccination, it means we are unconscious. But we can find, being unconscious means I have to take vaccine because I'm not conscious about this. That's why my immunity is low, like in Corona.
Correct.
We had many talks how to increase the efficiency of the immune system. So we need to increase the immunity. If I'm stressed, I have emotional stress, how can I increase my immunity? How I can stay healthy? Okay. Also, I want to maybe get into deeper the behaviors that could be related to the infection and how to get some of these, viruses like the human papilloma virus, but I would put it in a way that staying away from addiction, because there's certain behaviors which I can't get infected, and I have to stay away from this. And that is how to avoid addiction on certain behaviors, so I will be always healthy.
Yeah.
So I would say, I would put it in a way saying that trying to set ourselves free from emotional stress and understand the mind, okay, in order to change certain behaviors, program behaviors, this is the best way to do it. So this is the real causes of these results, which are the risk factors, which are cancer-related and healthy lifestyle.
You're absolutely right. It's just, everything is a result of our behavior. Now, I understand that you've been using the word addiction, and I understand, how misinterpreted this word addiction is. I know we might deviate a little bit from our topic, but can you please just scientifically give us what do you understand by addiction?
Addiction always is a result of, again, emotional stress. When they try to alleviate this emotional stress by increasing the production of dopamine to feel the pleasure. And there is a huge difference. We need the dopamine. It's important. But I would consider, always I mention, two important pathways of dopamine in the brain. There is 4, but I always focus on 2. Dopamine secretion related to the pleasure. When I feel like, for example, I am very upset today, I would eat too much chocolate. So this will relieve stress and I will feel pleasure. Or maybe I will just stay away and go and travel to somewhere where I can enjoy myself. And I always I got used to this behavior in order to relieve my stress. Or buying expensive things to relieve my stress. Some people, they different addictions, different behaviors of people which are related to addictions. So in order to relieve the stress. So is this real? Yes. It is a real pathway which is in the middle of the brain, okay? And it's like pathway through which the dopamine would be secreted. And it's a wanting. Here, the dopamine is not the happy hormone, no. It's a wanting neurotransmitter that I want that thing because I feel stressed. But what actually through this pathway will give the pleasure is this: there is certain points or areas in this pathway they are called hedonia or something. I can't recall the name, but they are related to pleasure. So it's like, not after that you won't even feel you are happy. Something, just you relieve yourself. And no purpose.
So it's a short-term relief in a way.
Short-term relief. Thank you.
Yes.
Temporary happiness.
Temporary
now I'm
happiness.
okay today. I relieve it, but next day I don't feel like it. Just maybe I'll go back and do the same thing with no purpose. No purpose is there. Yeah. So most people, they would do this. Okay. Now, like eating sugar. This is mostly people will get it. Okay. Now, also addiction, drugs, same thing. But like wanting, and it's not wanting and liking.
Yeah.
It's very, very precise. This is, you want it, but you don't like it.
Yeah.
Nobody like this.
But you still do it.
Unless you still do it. Thank you. You got it. Yes.
Yeah.
But what we are
Unless we
searching,
question, as you said, unless we start being aware that,
yes,
what are we doing? Yeah.
yeah.
Unless there is awareness. Yeah.
Unless if you have your own values, okay, now we're starting the values here. Unless we know the values and we would do like one value of the
Mm,
hierarchy, this is
mm,
good. Or practice the highest value through different approach, that's different,
yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
But being away from value, doing these pleasures and not aware of it, this is being unconscious. That is unconscious.
Correct.
So the other pathway for the dopamine is the related to intellectual pathway, and that's all human beings searching for.
Mm,
And it's related to the pathway which is in the in the frontal loop, and that is where the dopamine pathway passes through the areas which are also called intellectual areas, and this is the happiness, related to the happiness. So there is big difference between these two pathways, and every human being is searching for the intellectual pathway. However, what about the other pathway? Do we stop from eating chocolate and we don't travel? No, we do that, but there will be a balance. Maybe I will mention something related to the programmed mind, what's actually going on. And maybe I will go deeper into the causes. Now, we all know, maybe already highlighted, the emotional stress. The main reason of emotional stress is not practicing the highest value. So we were created to practice highest value. It's like Creator brought us to the earth to practice highest value. And by not doing the highest and practicing the highest value with the goal, that's why we are depressed. Emotional stress, we know there are many, different types of emotional stress: anger, fear, guilt. There is many emotional stress. But how we can set ourselves free from emotional stress? So this is how I just link it. Number one, we said emotions are not practicing highest value, there is no goal. What's stopping me from not practicing my highest value and having a goal is the programmed mind. And also programmed mind is related to the emotion stress, where we attach to certain events, and we are, how can I say, we are attaching to these events, and we are stopping at this moment. We are not moving forward because we keep thinking in a negative way about these events, about people, and we are not moving on and learning the lesson. So if you ask many people who have the cancer, you would see that. That's why it's very extreme emotions, those people. Anger, not lack of forgiveness, and all these situations, unforgettable, and so on. So we need to now, programmed mind means what? Programmed mind, we know that brain in action is mind. Brain in action is mind. And brain in action means what? Means we got used, for example, to this way of thinking, that there is a certain behavioral thinking. I see people, they keep doing the same behavior thinking, same behavior of the mind, same behavior of smoking. So they attach to the behavior itself. Now, me, I drink coffee every morning. But to me, it's not addiction, because if I stop drinking the coffee, I don't have headache. It's okay for me. I can drink water instead.
Yeah.
But what's really nice about drinking coffee is not the caffeine. I know, I understand it. It's the behavior itself. Smelling coffee in the morning and the behavior, how to prepare coffee, is like ritual, morning ritual to me. Enjoyment.
I agree.
And we can enjoy life as long as we understand that this is a behavior, and how actually it was, the neural pathway that is related to this behavior. Like, for example, now what is the neural pathway? It's like starting of the behavior where you have number of neural cells, and we do this behavior, so they will be firing. We started like firing from one neural cell to the other, to the other, to the other. So this is the first wire. And then again, I do it second time, and so on. So it will be very strong,
Habit.
kind of thick wire.
That's how
habit.
it becomes a habit. Yes.
Yeah, this is the habit.
Yes.
So once we understand this, believe me, many people will change bad behavior, including smoking. Okay? So this is actually the mind. when we do behaviors. So it's brain in action. So once we understand mind and what is mind and what is thinking, we can manage our minds. We can change the behaviors. We can understand which is the reality behind many of our unhealthy behaviors. And of course, it's very clear that all these behaviors are related to all diseases, not only cancer.
Right.
And also, we need to manage our minds and not follow our programmed minds by others. Because many of these behaviors, we saw them when we were young.
Yeah.
You know, eating and smoking, we don't blame others, we don't blame parents, never, but we need to understand it in order to change it. So this is how we can actually deal with the unhealthy lifestyle.
Very good.
Now,
Thank you so much. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, please.
no, that's fine.
Uh,
But actually, the scientific understanding, maybe I thought, because I found, I'm still searching in this, I'm still, putting things together, what is the reality behind the, having cancer or any other disease. For cancer, maybe we have a special, I'm thinking maybe I'll plan with you, Mrs. Tembi. Like I would do with you, like special episode about the scientific understanding of how the incidence of cancer, scientific only, only science. So I would say, in general, emotional stress, maybe people would think just a psychological thing, feeling uncomfortable. People feel like angry or, all these sorts of emotional stress. But actually, body is translating this emotional stress.
Correct.
The brain is translating that. The brain,
Yeah.
it's affecting the brain. The brain will consider this as a lion. We always mention the same thing because it's a message. Understand it. So for the brain, the emotional stress is something dangerous. So that's why secretion of adrenaline, noradrenaline, is the first thing when we feel the emotional stress. And chronic secretion, I would say, of the adrenaline, noradrenaline, I would say briefly, will go to their receptors on the cells, because we know all hormones have their receptors on cells to act. So adrenaline, noradrenaline will bind to the receptors on cells, and that will happen chronically because they keep, in the same emotional stress. They have the stress, they have emotional stress, and they go to the pleasurable dopamine, and they go back next day and so on. And I have to remind that the more we secrete adrenaline, not any other substance or hormone in the body, it means it's like asking the body to create or to form more receptors. So more receptors will be there. It's like now the addiction from the body, because the body now needs it. Sometimes we see people on daily basis, there is no problem, they will create a problem because they got used to the emotional stress, because they want to secrete the adrenaline on adrenaline.
Yes.
And also cortisol. So these are how the brain is translating by giving the signals to the adrenal glands to secrete these hormones. Okay? So the chronic binding of these hormones to their receptors, by time, they will establish or they will activate like carcinogenic pathways in the cells.
Okay.
Which will cause mutation genes if it's not genetic. Because still, I didn't mention that for breast cancer, for example, only 5% of the cases are genetic. Only 5%.
Interesting.
They always say that it's genetic, but it is 5%. For breast cancer, for example, about the 95%.
Correct. It's very interesting.
Because there is what is known as a oncogenes. Oncogenes are the genes that are there. Whenever they are activated, they will, they will cause cancer. Some people, oncogenes. Yeah. So oncogenic factor and mutation of the genes in general, that because of the binding or chronic binding of the adrenaline or adrenaline on the receptors. Okay. Second thing, we already have, if we have an efficient immune system, we won't be affected by cancer. Why? Because that is efficient immune system. Whenever there is abnormal cell, it will be destroyed by specific immune immune cells, white cells called neural killer cells. Neural killer cells. There are specific immune cells in killing, and destroying the abnormal growth, abnormal cells. If it's working properly and efficiently, okay, we will not have cancer. And again, also the emotional cells will secrete also these hormones, adrenaline, the cortisol, will bind to the receptors on the immune cells, those cells as well. So by time, when there is cancer cells, they won't be efficient to destroy these cancer cells. And even, that's what I always say, even when you get infection, people who would be having cold or influenza every 2 months or 3 months, they have low immunity. Why? Because they're living in emotional stress.
Correct.
Whenever there is any pathogen, for example, whenever there is pathogen in the body, virus or bacteria, the immune system won't be efficient enough to destroy or kill that pathogen. So this is briefly how the brief science behind the cancer incidence, which is related to emotional stress.
Thank you so much. It was very clearly explained that how chronic emotional stress, as you say, can contribute to cancer development. So that brings me to a very crucial conversation or question. How can we prevent cancer, and what practical steps should our viewers take here?
We all, as humans, need to have mindfulness. Mindfulness won't be achieved unless we practice what we are created to do on earth. And that will bring us to the core of our interview or talk, which is the highest value again. Because this doesn't prevent going to the physician and follow the treatment. They need to follow what the instructions physician. However, all people who have the cancer or hope they will get well soon, that they should activate their healing mechanism. And what is the difference between healing and treatment? Because some people, they will say, oh, we cured, we are okay now. But after, certain period, you will see them having another problem, like diabetes and other problems. So it means that healing, to set yourself free from even getting other disease by understanding what is the reality behind, the health, the sustainable health. So we need to activate our spirit, number one, and that is the highest value. We need to balance our emotions. We need to understand the benefits of many situations and the challenges that people given us, how I can use it, and thank them. Learning lessons. This is important. Very important that we should have our goal. Okay, this will relieve the emotional stress and look at the future and be happy and be inspired. At the same time, getting rid from the unhealthy behavior if they are programmed since we were young. Okay. So these are practically or general the steps. We need, of course, if we do that, we will balance our wheel of life. Automatically it will happen. And this will help in healing.
I guess we have to do another episode with Mr. Ahmed and yourself about the wheel of elixir of life. I guess that will give a little bit more information and understanding about what this wheel is. But if you can just give a little bit quick information to all our viewers what exactly it is.
The wheel of elixir of life different than wheel of life, because wheel of life won't work. It's unachievable. It's not easy to have, full mark in all areas of life, family, health, money. Of course, spiritual is important, which is number one. But still, elixir of life will work and it's achievable when people, they have first the number one, which are the connection with themselves. And that is the number one highest value. This number one, I would say, the first area will connect them to God, to the Creator, to the spiritual, the spirit. Number two, talking about health, talking about the mental health, because we have the physical health, mental health. We have the money, family, society. There are 7 areas. These are the 7 areas. It's like balancing their lives, balancing that. Lives. So it's called, that's what we invented 2020 during Corona, Wheel of Elixir of Life.
It is a beautiful thing because it is explained beautifully. It is like a gear dial of the watch. So if the one gear of the watch is working properly, which is your highest value,
Yes.
all the other elements will start rotating
Yes.
properly
Yeah.
with that one thing.
Very
And it's
nice.
so beautifully explained. And I think, as I said, we will do one during Ramadan, we will do one episode on
Oh,
that.
very
I guess it
nice.
is
Yeah.
very interesting. Yeah. So I want to go to the last question, which is basically one of the most important questions, I guess. As during Cancer Prevention Month, what is your final message would you like to share with our viewers?
Yeah, actually, despite we already explained the risk factors, we need to really understand that these are results, these are behaviors result from the emotional stress and program mind. We need to set ourselves free from stress, and we need to understand what is mine. I think this is the time to understand what is mine and how to manage our minds so we can tell the mind and you know so we can lead our mind. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
instead of following our program mind by others, we
Mm-hmm.
need, and this is the important, starting from discovering our highest value and having a goal which we can achieve in like 10 or 20 years from now. We need to be happy, really happy and balanced, and it's time to start. And if there is any treatment, anybody's living under treatment from cancer, he needs or she needs to really follow the instruction by physician, but at the same time, be happy and activate your healing
Activating
mechanism.
healing. Yes. As you put it, that we all need to live in or discover our highest value, which creates our balance and our emotional stress, which in turn will prevent us to have any sort of diseases. So the root cause, as you mentioned, is chronic emotional stress, which we need to deal with it. We need to create a balance. I know it's easier said than done, but there's always, as you said, it's the time is now to make those choices, to make those decisions that will, in the long run, help you in your physical and mental health. Again, thank you so much, Dr. Nada, for sharing your invaluable insights with us today. And to all your
Thank you.
viewers, remember that prevention is always better than cure. This is
Of
something that
course.
we've
Yeah.
always heard about it, and I think this is the time that we need to make those small changes today so that we can make big differences in our future. And don't forget to follow Dr. Nada here and for more expert advice on cancer prevention and overall wellness. Again, thank you very much for
Thank
joining
you.
us and looking forward for our next Instagram live during Ramadan.
Thank you
Thank you
very much.
again and goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye.